Yo, what's good out there? Long time no hear from. 2020's been crazy. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. Because what I do through and through, just bring you the news with a twist. It just might get a point of view. So let my words guide you, get inside you. So peep this, peep game, peep game. I don't know if I'm just being a conspiracy theorist, but it's some bullshit going on. I gotta throw the bullshit flag. I gotta throw the bullshit flag. Because my mind works like chess, not checkers. I'm thinking chess like, not checker like. Now that's how my thinking is. Like an onion. I don't just go with the surface. I want to dig deep, dig deep. So follow me. Follow me down the rabbit hole. Or am I just tripping? Just follow me down the rabbit hole. Now, you see lately, the media is trying to pivot from the killing of innocent unarmed black men, women, and children, innocent ones like Deontay Farrow, innocent ones like Tamir Rice and Trey King, innocent ones. Now they're trying to pivot to ones that have committed a crime, Jacob Blake, and the latest one, Antwon Rose Jr. But let's speak on that and let's speak on why. Let's speak on why. And it's still bullshit. Because I'm gonna give you examples of for every Jacob Blake and Antwon Rose Jr. that died. They're examples of white guys that actually shot at cops and lived. Now, the reason why I say it's the rabbit hole is because we got media people in the media, and especially I have family members. This is their favorite team. Some of my family's favorite team. Like most of y'all, you got a lot of family members that probably Cowboy fans or Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Or probably a mixture of both. You know what I'm saying? With other teams sprinkled in, but this is for the Pittsburgh Steelers. See, this is now I see why they like Mike Tomlin. Not because he's an X's and O's guy. Not because he can rally the troops. Not because none of that. Because he's a yes sir, no sir type dude. He's a yes sir, no sir type dude. He wants a soft shoe type dude. He is. And those are the type of dudes that he have on his team. I mean, I'm going to explain why I say that. I'm gonna explain why I say that. I know some of you like, oh my God, he's harsh. Hold on, money, chill out. His dog, his owner must be here. But some of y'all gonna say that's harsh, but I mean, it is. The truth is cold, but it's fair. One thing, it ain't no his truth. It ain't my truth. It ain't your truth. It's the truth. And let's get down to it. Okay. The reason why I say that is because this all goes to Antwon Rose Jr. being selected as to be honored by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, if you don't know what's going on about Mr. Antwon Rose Jr., what's going on is that allegedly, yeah, we're gonna say allegedly, or can we say allegedly, or is it true? But there was a drive-by shooting the same day or a day prior. Then he was in the car with somebody that got pulled over. In the midst of the driver getting pulled out the car in a handcuff, he gets out the car and starts running. And he's shot in the back 3 times, dies. Now they say he had gunpowder residue on his hands. So he may have been involved in the drive-by shooting. And people are looking like, oh, and that's why Pouncey, Uncle Tom's Cabin, soft shoe ass Negro. Yeah, you one of these Morris butter biscuit eating Negroes. Yes, you are. You are. Yes, you are. This is why. Pouncey, he comes out and say, well, I don't want to honor him. I should do research, and I'll just put the name of the person I want to put name on it. Okay, then cool. My question for Pouncey, Mike Tomlin, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, why'd y'all pick Antwone Rose Jr. if there was going to be any type of controversy? So am I to believe that y'all just picked the name out of a hat to say we're just going to honor this guy without looking into it? So that's what I'm to believe. That y'all had no idea that this controversy is going to come up about Antwone Rose Jr. That's what I'm to believe. Me. I'm to believe that the brain trust for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are allegedly supposed to be a smart organization, just randomly picked a name out of a hat and said we're going to honor this guy here because he was shot and killed by the cops. I was born at night, not last night. Let's get it straight. Let me get my computer back up because I got some good notes here. It's going to act up on me. Hold on. There we go. Supposed to be a touch screen, but I don't use it, so I don't know. Boom, there we go. Okay. Why they choose Antwone Rose Jr.? Back to it. Why they choose Antwone Rose Jr.? Why? Out of anybody they could have honored, out of any black person that was killed by the police that they could have honored, put on a helmet, they chose Antwone Rose Jr. Why did everybody have to choose the same person? Why did they choose that name? You know why they chose that name? So that they can say, look, the police aren't only killing innocent black men and black women and children, black men, women, and children. They're killing criminals. These criminals, that criminal Antwone Rose Jr., that criminal. Who's to care that a criminal died and got shot and killed? Who's to care that a criminal named Jacob Blake was shot in the back 7 times? He was reaching for something. He was reaching for a knife. That's what they say. That's what the Marquise Pouncers of the world say. That's what all these idiots say. Black and white sports. That's another clown I saw on the internet. Oh my God. That's what they say. That's what they're going to say. So that when a Tamir Rice is killed, they can say, well, you know, the cops thought it was Antwone Rose Jr. Or the cops thought it was a Jacob Blake. But let me play y'all game. Let's say they both guilty. Jacob Blake and Antwone Rose Jr. guilty. But hold on. First of all, did Antwone Rose Jr. deserve to die for his crime? Did he deserve to get shot in the back 3 times and die for his crime? What about Jacob Blake? Did he deserve to be paralyzed? Even if he was reaching for a knife. Even if cops with guns, you can't use a taser. But hold on. Okay. But what about these? Have you heard of David Ware? You know who David Ware is? If you don't know who David Ware is, Google David Ware. D is in Delta, A is in Alpha, V is in Victor, I is in India, D is in Delta. First name David, last name Ware, W is in Whiskey, A is in Alpha, R is in Roger, E is in Echo. Yeah, we gonna slow cook this right here. We cooking with fish grease. We're gonna slow cook this right here. David Ware, Tulsa. He shot and killed 2 Tulsa police officers. Shot and killed 2 of them. Guess what happened to David Ware? Taken in alive. Was he beat up? No. Taken in alive after killing 2 cops. Look it up. So, David Ware, white male, killed 2 police officers, taken in alive. Antwone Rose Jr. gets out of a car, runs from the cops, shot and killed, shot 3 times in the back. They didn't kill. Funny how they didn't kill David Ware. They managed to get him to take him to jail so the courts can deal with him. But they killed Antwon Rose Jr. David Ware killed 2 cops. So he was killing cops. But they still managed to bring him in alive. While this young boy was in a drive-by, shot at somebody. Yes, he did shoot at somebody. Nobody died, but he shot at somebody. Okay, he shot at somebody. Then shoot at the cops. Ran from the cops, but got shot and killed. One shot and killed 2 cops, lived. Other ran from the cops, died. Okay. And Jacob Blake was paralyzed. Shot 7 times in the back. But cops couldn't shoot David Ware. Okay. What about Adam Zabowski? No, I may be saying it wrong. Adam Zaborowski. Gotcha. A is in Alpha, D is in Delta, A is in Alpha, M is in Michael. Z is in Zulu. That's the last name. Z is in Zulu, A is in Alpha, B is in Bravo, O is in Oscar, R is in Roger, O is in Oscar, W is in Whiskey, S is in Sierra, K is in Kilo, I is in India. I want y'all to look this up with me. That's why I'm spelling it out for you. Like I said, we're going to slow cook this one right here. Because some people are easily fooled. And let me show you what these idiots are trying to do. Adam Zabowski. Look him up. Look him up. They said Adam Zabowski. They said he was stressed out. Stressed out. Let me tell you what the stressed out man did. Went to a cigar place. What's it called? Went to Cigars International. They told him to put on a mask. You know what he did? He took 2 cigars and left the store. Now, if the story sounds familiar, sounds a little bit like Mike Brown, don't it? It sounds like what they said about Mike Brown. Said that he came in, stole a cigar and left. When in all actuality, Mike Brown exchanged some things and then left with the clerk. So the cop just rolled up on Mike Brown. Nobody called the cop. But anyway, I digress. This guy goes in, doesn't wear a mask, takes 2 cigars. Then when the clerk comes outside to confront him about taking 2 cigars, which is crazy because, I mean, that's what I understand. Clerk, you're not going to get a badge or no raise for confronting nobody for stolen merchandise. The owner not going to give you a raise. You just should have called the cops, which you wind up doing anyway. But anyway, I digress. The clerk goes out to confront Mr. Zaborowski. And guess what Mr. Zaborowski does? Busting off shots. Bow, 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 bow. At the clerk. And then they call the cops. And then what happens? This dude breaks out an AK-47. AK-47 and gets in the shootout with the cops. Gets in the shootout with 7 police officers. Hitting 1. I know he hit at least 1. I just skimmed over the story. I should have read it. But he hit at least 1. Survived. Because after the shootout was over, they administered first aid to him. Do you think they administered first aid to Antwon Rose Jr.? What about to Jacob Blake? Or did they handcuff him and let him bleed in the street till the ambulance arrived? I'm not saying Antwon Rose Jr. and Jacob Blake were innocent. No. What's wrong is wrong. What's right is right. But you mean to tell me I just gave you 2 instances. 2 instances where white males were shooting at police, but lived, were taken in alive and lived to tell about it. And they gave you 2 instances where black males were shot. One killed and the other paralyzed. But the media and some of these clowns, some of these black people that are racist against black people, they quick to point out, well, Antwon Rose Jr. was a criminal. Jacob Blake was a criminal. I'm not disputing that. Maybe they were. If they are, lock their ass up. But lock their ass up. Don't kill them in the street like dogs. Because if you can take David Ware alive, who killed 2 Tulsa police officers, but they killed Terrence Crutcher. They were stranded on the side of the road. You took David, but you can take David Ware alive. But people don't see the problem. See, that's the problem. Folks either apologizing for them, explaining for them. What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. You telling me black man on the side of the road killed by Tulsa cops. He didn't have any guns. He actually called the police for help. But David Ware, a white man, shoots and kills 2 Tulsa police officers, taken in alive. But you're going to get, oh, yes, sir, Bojangle Pouncey rolling up saying, well, I'm gonna research Antwon Rose Jr. I just don't want to just pick a name just to honor. Really? So what name do you want to honor then, Pouncey? What black person killed by the police? Innocent black. There's plenty of them out there. Plenty of innocent black people killed by the police that you can honor. Which one you gonna pick? Or you gonna be like your teammate Villanueva, exercise name and put somebody in the military. Okay, cool, Villanueva. You wanna put somebody in the military? Did you arbitrarily pick a name? Are you gonna pick a black name next time? Or are you just gonna pick people that you know? Or you just picking names out of a hat? I just wanna know. Like I said, it's chess, not checkers. Like I said, you gotta ask yourself, why did the Pittsburgh Steelers pick Antwon Rose Jr. with what's going on with Antwon Rose Jr.? Why did they pick him with what's going on surrounding his case? They know they was going to spark some type of controversy. Unless that's what they wanted to happen. They wanted people to say, look at Antwon Rose Jr. He was in a drive-by shooting. He's a criminal. He's a thug. So what if they shot him running from the cops? Really? So criminals, thugs running from the cops get shot in the back. But white males like Adam Zabowski, who they say was depressed or who had a mental lapse or snapped, could steal 2 cigars and shoot at a store clerk and pull out an AK-47, shoot at 7 police officers and live and to talk about it. Mike Brown had 1 cigar and killed by cops. And Mike Brown didn't even steal a cigar. But that's okay. So, Antwon Rose Jr. shot at somebody. So did Adam Zabowski. And then on top of that, Adam Zabowski shot at a clerk, and then shot at the police. Antwon Rose Jr. ran from the police and was shot in the back. And in the case of Adam Zabowski, the police administered first aid. So Adam Zabowski, even though he had an AK-47 and shootout with 7 police officers, was not taken to the hospital in critical condition, was not taken to the hospital in serious condition. You understand what I'm saying? But they gonna say, Antwon Rose Jr., the issue is, why can't y'all arrest even the guilty black people and let them have their day in court like you can the guilty white people? How can you arrest David Ware, but you can't arrest Antwon Rose Jr. I told you what David Ware did. He killed 2 cops. Terrence Crutcher didn't kill nobody. He died. Antwon Rose Jr. didn't kill nobody. He didn't shoot the cops. He died. Adam Zabowski, shoot out with the cops with the AK-47. Live to talk about it. But like I said, this media, I can't never like the Steelers. This is why I don't even like football or really don't like sports really, because all of they slick, or they try to be slick, like this right here. Not only are they killing innocent black men, women, and children, they even killing the criminals. And people say, "Oh, they're killing the criminals. Look at the Crimea River." Okay. David Ware. Explain to me why David Ware is alive. I told you he killed 2 cops in Tulsa. Explain to me how they took David Ware alive, but you couldn't take Antwon Rose Jr. alive. Explain to me that. Oh, silencio, silence. One of them killed 2 police officers. We're brothers in blue. One of them killed their brothers in blue, but still lived to talk about it, while the other one just ran from one. That's the problem. That's what Colin was protesting against. That. Not only are you killing the innocent ones, the Tamir Rices, the Trey Kings, the Breonna Taylors. Not only are you killing the innocent ones, you're killing the ones that are suspected of crimes. Jacob Blake, Antwon Rose. Wow, David Ware can kill 2 cops and live. While Adam Zabowski can kill 2 cops and live. David Ware, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Adam Zabowski, let me get that for y'all. I'm sorry. I got to get all of it. Where is that? Bethlehem Township. Where is that at? And then in Pittsburgh. Bethlehem Township. Let me see. I'm trying to do this with one hand. New Jersey. Bethlehem Township. That's in New Jersey. So this guy in New Jersey can shoot at, get in the shootout with 7 cops and live. And hold on. And then this is the crazy thing about it. I want to read to you part of this article. Okay. Let me see. Waldron. Who is Waldron? I want to know who this guy Waldron. They quoted some guy named Waldron. I'm just trying to find out who Waldron is in this article. Pandemic stress contributed to suspect shootout with 7, lawyer says. I guess Waldron is his lawyer. Okay. Martin confirmed that at least 7 officers were put in harm's way during the Saturday shootout. Zabowski shot an AK-47 assault rifle and a semi-automatic handgun at the police, Waldron said. One officer from Sladen was injured during the gun battle, police said. Waldron said Zabowski's father told him that Zabowski is expected to recover and be released from the hospital in 2 to 3 days. That's incredible given the amount of danger he put himself in, Waldron admits. Police are trained to shoot at suspects only when deadly force is justified, Waldron confirmed. So police are trained. This is the lawyer from Adam Zabowski. He said the police are trained to shoot at suspects only when deadly force is justified. So in the case of Adam Zabowski, who pulled out an AK-47 and a semi-automatic and shot at 7 police officers, they didn't think deadly force was justified. As far as the lawyer goes. They didn't think deadly force was justified. They couldn't have thought deadly force was justified. You know why? Because Adam Zabowski lives. But in the case of Antwon Rose Jr., black man, young black boy, who wasn't even 20 years old. Funny how when you're 15, you're black, you're a man. You're 25 and white, you're a boy. You're a young man. Funny how the media does that. But anyway, Antwon Rose Jr. I guess it was deemed necessary to shoot him in the back and kill him. Can any of you answer that for me? Pouncey, can you answer that for me? Since y'all all on the radio, all on TV, I'm gonna watch what I'm gonna pay attention to what I honor. Okay. Why are you paying attention to what you honor? Are you paying attention to that? He was shot in the back and killed. Why this guy in New Jersey pulls an AK-47 and shoots at cops and lives? Why this other guy kills 2 Tulsa police officers and lives? But I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. What about Nicholas Cruz? You know what he did in Florida? The school shooting. What about Nicholas Cruz? Was he even bruised up? He killed 17 kids. My bad, he killed 17 people. Lived. What about Dylan Ruth? Went in the church. Shot and killed 9 people. Well, killed 9 people in the church. Lived. Took them alive. But for this Adam Zabowski, who shot at people with shot the cops with AK-47s, with an AK-47 in a semi-automatic. Police didn't deem deadly force as necessary. With Dylan Roof, when they caught Dylan Roof, they didn't deem deadly force as necessary. When they caught Nicholas Cruz, they didn't deem deadly force as necessary. When they caught David Ware, who killed 2 cops, they didn't deem deadly force as necessary. But when Antwon Rose Jr. ran from them, they deemed deadly force as necessary. When Jacob Blake opened up his car door, they deemed deadly force as necessary. But nobody don't see nothing wrong with that. If you don't see nothing wrong with it, let me keep going. I got another one. Jason Michael Minish? I know I'm pronouncing the name wrong. But I know y'all heard of this one. This the dude in Minnesota who was arguing with his wife about lack of sex. Shot and killed his wife. He said he emptied a clip in his wife. After he shot and killed his wife, he shot his 2 neighbors. One of them a 12-year-old black girl in the head who's in critical condition right now. Shot her sister who's 29 years old multiple times in the legs and hips. Talking about they were bad neighbors and he hate kids. When the police arrived, he was shouting things at them and shooting at the cops. Let me read you the article. This is from CBS Minnesota. Charges: Jason Misich shot wife to death in Bloomington, then shot 2 sisters who lived next door. Jason Michael Misich, 48, faces 3 second-degree murder charges. Second-degree murder. For the death of his wife and shooting of 2 sisters who are his Bloomington neighbors, including a 12-year-old girl who was shot in the head. Second-degree murder charges. He emptied the clip in his wife. Shot a 12-year-old in the head. Shot her sister several times in the legs and hips. But he getting charged with second-degree murder. Hold on. Let me just see what second-degree murder is. Okay. Second degree murder is defined as murder that is not premeditated, or murder that is caused by the offender's reckless conduct that displays an obvious lack of concern for human life. Hmm. So I can't disagree with that if that's what second degree murder is. Okay. Okay. Still get that trick to death penalty. But anyway, we're gonna stick to the facts. So hey, I got corrected on them right there. But check this out. This article goes on to say the Hennepin County Attorney's Office says officers were called to a home on the 8300 block of the 15th Avenue Saturday about 11 p.m. on several reports of gunshots being fired and several victims. They arrived to the sound of more gunshots being fired from inside the home, they being the police. Officers went to the home's detached garage and found the body of 47-year-old Angela Lynn Misich, who's the wife. She had been shot several times in the neck and upper torso. After a standoff, police entered the home and found Jason Misich in the basement where he continued firing a gun, screaming and throwing things. He eventually surrendered to officers. Misich is estimated to have fired 40 rounds during the standoff with the police. So, this dude, this guy, Jason Misich, shoots and kills his wife. Shoots his wife in the neck and torso several times. Misich later on said that he think he emptied a clip in her. Then he goes next door, shoots a 12-year-old in the head, and shoots her sister several times in the legs and hips. His wife is dead, and these two sisters are in critical condition when the cops arrive to the scene. After the standoff. So they were outside the home before they can even get in. Once they gained entry into the home in the detached garage, they found his wife's body. They found the dead body right there. And he's still shouting and shooting at them. They counted the bullets. They say he shot the cops 40 times. 40 times shooting at the police. But yet lives. Killed his wife. His two neighbors are in critical condition right now at the hospital. They don't expect them to live or make it. So possibly 3 deaths, and he shot the police officers 40 times. But he lived. While Antoine Rose Jr. died. While Jacob Blake is paralyzed. I gave you 4 instances where people died or he was shot at by white offenders. And these white offenders lived, were taken in alive. 3 of those instances, David Ware, Adam Zabowski, Jason Michael Meisch, they were shooting at the police. In the case of David Ware, he killed 2 cops. But all 3 of those were taken in alive, while Antoine Rose Jr. died. So what's the difference between a black criminal and a white criminal? Since you want to say the black criminal, okay, cool. Even though Antoine Rose Jr. may have committed a crime, his crime in no way on the level of any one of these dudes' crimes. If you want to go, let's go. We can go for the crime for crime. Antoine Rose Jr., let's say he was in a drive-by. Okay, drive-by. I'm not saying there's nothing to sneeze at. That's what the fuck you doing. But anyway, drive-by. Okay. No one was killed. Nicholas Cruz killed 17 people in high school. I think Nicholas Cruz's crime was way worse than Antoine Rose Jr., but in Nicholas Cruz alive. David Ware shot and killed 2 people. Not only did he shoot and kill 2 people, both of them were cops. So I think David Ware's crime is way worse than Antoine Rose Jr., what he's accused of. So, but he lived. Adam Zabowski steals, shoots at the clerk, attempted murder, then attempted murder on 7 police officers. So 8 counts of attempted murder. Not only were all those bullets going, AK-47. And what gun did Antoine Rose Jr. shoot? But I digress. He still shot a gun. But AK-47 against 7 cops, and you shot your semi-automatic against a person that's 8 attempted murder cases. I think that's worse than what Antoine Rose Jr. has done. Michael Misic killed his wife, 2 neighbors in critical condition, and shot the cops 40 times. Yeah, that's worse than what Antoine Rose Jr. is accused of. That's worse than what Jacob Blake was accused of. But those guys, the white ones, lived. They have done that, did far worse than what the black ones have done. Even when the white media and they bootlicks and these butter biscuit eating clowns, Soft Shoe and Stephen A. Smiths and the Marcellus Wileys and the Jason Whitlocks and the Shea Butter Shannon Sharps and the Brandon Marshalls and all these other clowns come out. All these other clowns come out. There's plenty of Damian Woody. It's plenty of them. Jalen Rose. LeBron James, when they put these clowns out. I don't know. These clowns be quick to point out, well, Antoine Rose had a murky past. Okay. Which is understandable. That's a good point. But how many people with murkier past that are white lived for their day in court, while the black ones died before they can even get a day in court? And we already know the criminal justice system is rigged anyway. That's a fact. I gave you 7 criminals. 7. Jacob Blake, Antoine Rose Jr., Nicholas Cruz, Jason Michael Meisch, David Ware, Adam Zabowski. I forgot Kyle Rittenhouse, who shot and killed 2 people and came back and they ain't do shit to him. There's 7 of them. But you know, out of the 7, 2 of them died. And you know what the 2 that died have in common? They not white. They black. And you know what they have in common? They didn't shoot. They didn't kill anyone. Sorry, no. You know I can't even say that. You know them other 2 haven't come down. They are the least. They had the least violent crimes out of all the 7 I had. I'm not saying they're innocent. But if those other 5 who committed far greater atrocities, far greater crimes than those 2, if those 5 can live, when 4 of the 5 had firearms, when 3 of the 5 were shooting at the cops, well, 1 of them actually killed cops. If they lived, why couldn't Antoine Rose Jr. and Jacob Blake live? But like I said, why did the Pittsburgh Steelers pick Antoine Rose Jr. name? So they can create this be as controversial about his murky past. But fuck his past. Why didn't he receive his day in court? That's the question. Why was he killed? If you want to say, okay, he's a criminal, he was killed, why were these other 5 criminals, why were their lives spared? Why were their lives spared? So what's the difference between those 5 white criminals and those 2 black criminals I gave you? Nobody can answer that one. They be like, I know. And that's the fucking problem. And the fact that people got to keep explaining it to you. Keep explaining. We ain't even got to talk about the innocent ones. Because if you ain't paying attention to the innocent ones, damn sure know you ain't going to care about the guilty ones. But like I said, I played your game and flipped it on its head. Why are the white criminals who commit far greater crimes, far greater mayhem, why are they allowed to live and see their day in court? One was actually given first aid by the cops. Why were they giving that? But Antoine Rose Jr. was shot in the back and killed. Like I said, silence. They can't say that. They just gonna go, well, you're just trying to take up for criminals. No, 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 no. I said, I ain't say they were guilty. I ain't say they were innocent. I said, why couldn't they go to jail and get punished by the court system? Just like the others I mentioned. So what's the difference between the black criminal and the white criminal? Especially when the white criminal did far worse, but they managed to always live. But I ain't gonna be gone from y'all this long, cause there's a lot I gotta get off my chest. I got a couple hot ones coming out today. Hey, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. In closing, all I gotta say is I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Glad to be back.